Hey guys, it's me, Desiree Marie. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome. If you are here for the first time, I'm Desiree Marie and I do lock videos. But today we have a special guest, which is my mom, Velvet Lox. Today, I thought I would pick her brain and get her to answer some questions that some of you guys have asked me, but I don't know about it. I've been locked for about 2 years now, but I have not experienced certain things that some of you guys have experienced as far as like damaged locks and how to repair them. My mom has so much more expertise and experience. Just let them know a little bit about your journey, how old you are, and
okay, since y'all want to know my business. Okay, well, I'm 53 years old and I've been locked going on 7 years.
wow.
I got a lock anniversary coming up, y'all. Yes, 7 years this year. So yeah, I've been through so much and I have thin locks as it is now. So yeah, we can talk about these things.
Yeah, so you guys have asked questions about what to do with thinning locks and how to repair damaged locks. So we're going to talk about that and ask my mom, who's been in the game for way longer than I have. Yeah, so stay tuned.
Okay. Yes, you guys, so if you see me looking at this way and that way, well, we're both vlogging, we're both recording, so I'm trying to catch both angles, so please excuse me. Now, the first question, I think you were asked by somebody, is that it?
Yeah, it's basically like general topics. Like one person asked like, you know, about thin locks and how to...
Why locks thin out?
Yeah, why do locks thin out? I guess you can talk about, start talking about that.
Well, I just also wrote down some notes, but one of the... Okay, there are a few reasons how your locks could actually thin out. It could be poor nutrition. It could be stress, okay? It could also be your bad hair practices. Whatever you're doing on your wash day or what you're not doing, whatever it is that you're doing that you're lacking the care of could also thin out your locks. Another thing that can actually thin out your locks are the things that we use just to tie up our hair. Those little black rubber bands, those will definitely weaken your locks in certain areas and it will thin it out. Also, those hairpins. Okay, a lot of those stick pins and hairpins, well, the pressure also thins out your locks if you're constantly using those things, especially if you're constantly poking them in your hair. Okay, do that a lot and you're actually picking through your locks, so that will thin it out. Another thing, another instrument that we use as lockers are those little clip pins.
Yeah, the
little those retwist pins. You gotta be very careful when you're using those, because not only are you putting pressure on your lock when you use those, but when you get under that hot dryer, and that metal starts heating up,
you're singeing your locks.
You're cooking your locks, okay?
Yeah.
That's kind of bad. And I used to use those too, but now that my locks are sealed, I'm able to twist it and retwist it without actually using the little metal pins. So those are bad for your hair and will definitely thin out your locks. Let me see. Another thing that we do on a regular is styling. If we manipulate our hair too much, we will thin out our locks, especially around the edges. Yeah. If you've noticed, a lot of people with a lot of those buns, updos, if they're doing it all the time, especially when they go to the edges, you know, the edges, okay? Well, I got an edge hair control, miracle hair growth formula coming up. Plug, okay? But I'm plugging that. Well, anyways, yeah. When we manipulate our hair too much, constantly styling it, putting it up constantly in a bun, in a ponytail, updos, they're bad for your hair. They're good for your hair, but if you do it constantly, they will thin out your locks.
What about like when people, like the part to lock ratio, say, you know, you have a small part, but your lock is growing bigger than you had thought in the beginning. You know, your lock takes up more space than the part as it grows and it becomes heavy and weighing on that small base.
A lot of times, like, okay, now if you have a thick enough lock on that part, it should still be good. What's bad is when we add in extensions on our hair, and that extension is much heavier than that part ratio of the actual lock on that part. So if you're putting a thicker or heavier extension on that fragile little lock, it may look good, but it's weighing down your lock, and it's actually breaking it at the root. So those lock extensions, you got to be careful. Yeah. The synthetic ones, you got to be careful, because after a while, especially when they're wet, they will weigh down your hair and they will break your locks.
Yeah. I had to slow down. I was using the Marley braiding hair to do my my long Senegalese twist, but I mean, that was okay for then, and even then I was rocking it a little bit too long. Yeah, so with that big twist on your locks, it's like after a while it starts to weigh down. Even though it feels light, it's weighing down.
It actually weighs your hair down. Because when you think about it, like a lot of people I've noticed, they've ended their lock journey and they cut their locks off, and then they talk about, oh wow, it's so much lighter, I can actually move my head. And we don't realize how much weight we're carrying on our shoulders. And it's not until we cut it off that we really feel the difference in the weight of our hair. So yeah, your hair, as it also gets longer, it thins out your roots. So if you started off like me with thin, you know, smaller parts, smaller locks, after they grow and they get older, they're gonna start, should I say, get longer. Yeah. As they grow and get longer, they will start to thin a little bit at the root. And depending on how you take care of your hair, how well you manipulate blood circulation on your scalp to generate hair growth, if you're not getting enough, if you're not generating hair growth and your hair is not growing, your locks are eventually going to keep getting thinner and thinner and thinner until they actually break off, because you're not actually able to get new growth to intertwine in there to make it a more sturdier and firmer base. Yeah. So that will definitely also break the locks.
What about popping locks? Because I know one person on YouTube that I really love. She ended her hair journey, but then she started it again. She said that when she took out her first set of locks, that she realized that when she was popping her locks all the time, it was slowly like breaking hairs out of that lock and thinning out the lock.
I don't know how she must have been popping them, but listen. Also, when you pop those locks, like, you know, we call it pop lock. When after a wash, after you wash your hair, you know, all of that scalp manipulation and everything, and you scrubbing and you going in real good. Well, after a while, that's like meshing and intertwining your hair. So when you go to spread your locks, like to part them, to separate them, they're going to snap. It's okay if they snap if your hair is wet, damp and wet. Then you can break it, you know, it's gonna pop. It's gonna, you know, snap apart. Pop. Yeah.
While it's dry.
Yeah. 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 If it's dry, you're gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Yeah. But it's best that you separate your locks, pop locks, when your hair is moist or wet. So this way you're not thinning out your hair at the root.
Okay, so how about repairing locks? Because some people ask me, oh, you know, my locks are damaged. How do I fix it? How do I fix my locks that are thinning? And I really don't have any experience with that, but I know that you have.
Pray you don't ever have any experience with that. She got such wonderful thick locks.
Thank you.
Oh, I love her hair. It's so thick. But if you have issues like moi, okay, and you have thin hair, and you use those doggone whatever it is, whether it's the rubber bands or the hairpins or whatever it is, or even just washing, sometimes, you know, I don't know, the pulling while your hair is wet, you can thin your locks out, even in the middle. And a lot of that could be, and I don't see any right now, but depending on where it is thinning, say your hair is thinning somewhere in the middle, there's different things that you can do to save that lock. The most you want to do is try to save your lock, okay? No lock should be left behind. So if your hair is thin, and I'm trying to find a thin space to give you an example of what I do when it's thin. Okay. Okay, we'll just use this piece right here at the end. Now, if you look real close, it's really thin somewhere in between there. Right in between there. So what I normally do, like when it's at a place that it's really fine and you really can tell it's gonna pop eventually, there's a way that I do it. You could easily just tie a knot into that space. I'm gonna put it right down there. You tie a knot into that space and you pull the knot close to where that, or over that thinning area. Okay? And
is that focus?
I don't know if it's focused.
YouTube in.
Yeah, YouTube in. But you see the knot is right there, and all you gotta do is just gently, you know, move it down to wherever that weak area is in your lock. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. And then you just roll it, and it kind of smooths it out.
Okay, so you tie the knot where it is and then you palm roll it.
Yeah, but you got to be very careful and just move that knot down and over to that weak area. And if you need to do another one on top, then you do another one on top. And then after that, you just try to smooth it out so it's not so protruding. But yeah, that's one way you can actually save a lock that is damaged somewhere in the middle. Okay, I wish I could find something for you to really show you, but one method is you can actually tie you know, put a knot in your lock to save it, and it will strengthen it, and it really will not break. It's going to be stronger. Another method that you can actually use to save your lock is needle and thread. Okay, you can actually stitch wherever that weak spot is. Like say if it's right here in the middle, you can actually just bend your lock to wherever that area is, you know, just fold it into that area, and you can actually stitch your hair. And this way you're reinforcing that area that's weak, and you're stitching, you know, mending the ends, mending the two sides together to still make a uniform lock. You just need to be careful with that. Another way to save thinning locks, if your locks are thin, and what I did in the beginning of my journey when I started my locks, I started them thin. Okay, I thought I was gonna have a whole lot of hair like this one. I thought it was gonna be bushy, and it was gonna be
mine is not as bushy as some people.
Thick. Each lock strand is thick. Well, mine aren't thick and nice like hers. So mine are thin and fragile and frail, and they will break easy if I'm not careful when I'm manipulating.
But they're still nice. They're
nice, but they're not strong, like strong, you know? They're not strong like that. But my hair, okay, if you have thin locks or a lock that is thinning in the area and you realize that lock is really not doing too well, but you want thicker locks, you can combine them. Okay, you just take two locks that are right next to each other, and if they're really thin, like these two, and if they're really thin, you just two strand twist them together, which I've done to so many of mine. Now depending on where they're thinning, it could be even merging and marrying them at the root or wherever it is, and you just two strand twist it all the way down to that area, reinforcing that lock, combining them together, and you could even put a clamp there or sew them together.
Oh, okay.
Because that's usually what I do when I want to strengthen my locks, make them thicker. I see it's thinning out, it's really looking weak, fragile. I'll combine it with another lock to make it stronger. So yeah.
Okay,
that's
awesome.
Another way.
So is there any instance where you cannot save a lock and you should just like, because I guess some people, they have like really drastic situations and they're trying so hard to save their locks, like what should they do?
Oh, it depends on the situation. I'm here thinking of one right now. Like if you just got a lot of thinning locks in your hair, it's hard to say. You may have to do some serious repairing on your locks. I wouldn't say cut them off, but you may have to do a lot of stitching and a lot of mending just to save that lock and just to save your hair. If you're not eating right, your locks are gonna break eventually.
Drinking enough water.
Drinking lots of, yeah, you gotta hydrate your body or else your locks are gonna get dry, fragile, and frail. And
stress.
Yeah, stress Stress will kill your locks quick, okay? It's gonna thin it out, it's gonna break it off. It's gonna look bad. Your hair, whatever mood you're in, if you're not in a good space, your locks are gonna reflect that, okay? So if you're like always stressed out, your locks are gonna show. If you're eating bad nutrition, your locks are gonna show. They may be dry, frail, brittle, whatever the case is, it's gonna show up in your hair. All right? So those are some ways that you can actually help and combat that thinning problem. If you have areas in your hair that are thinning out, you can either stitch them together, you can either put a knot in that area to save that lock, or some serious major repair job.
Or you might have to visit a loctician.
Yeah.
Someone to do it for you.
To do some serious
sometimes you may not know, I guess.
Yeah. It's best you consult with a professional hairdresser if you don't know how to do it yourself. If you're not skilled at, you know, looking at YouTube or so and trying to, you know, do it yourself. But yeah, your best bet is to probably go to a loctician and get some professional consultation on your hair.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we learned a whole lot today. If you have any more questions, let us know down below, and I'll have my mom come back on camera and answer you guys' questions. But yeah, thank you for coming on camera.
You're welcome.
On the channel again. A lot of you guys asked about her.
My baby.
And here she is. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I think you answered a lot of, all the questions that I've been getting. Yeah, so that's it. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Visit her channel, Velvet Lox. She talks about eating well, and you know, if you guys want to lose weight and feel your best, she's the perfect channel for you. So go ahead and check her out.
And if you want healthy hair.
Healthy hair comes from the inside, so you know.
Yeah, it starts from the inside.
Yeah.
She's learning.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, check out her channel. And subscribe to this channel if you want to see many more videos like this. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Later.